You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America Presents Search for the Next Doll, also known as Your Welcome America Presents Pussycat Dolls Presents Search for the Next Doll.
Hi.
Hiya.
I am Ben.
I'm Fraser.
Fraser like razor. How you doing, babes? Here we are, episode 6. Can you believe it?
I can't fucking believe it. It's flying by. Weirdly, this is the performance that is most emblazoned into my brain, this one.
Oh my god. We've got a lot to talk about with this performance. Before we get into it, though, little bit of a recap from last week. Remember, we had that sexy performance in Vegas. Anastasia let her discomfort show. I'm saying that in air quotes because that's what the recap said. And Mariella left. Fine. So,
well, we did get to hear a little clip of Mariella in that one, didn't we? Because we didn't actually get to hear because of Christina Aguilera redacting the episode last time, and we just got to hear one little clip of it, and woof, those were some vocals.
Yeah, one little clip of Mariella attempting I Turn to You by Xtina. It turns out she rightfully left. She hung up that boa. Her boa was set alight, then shredded. just upping the format. So that means we're down to final five. Final five, top five. I'm going to call them top five. Anastasia, Chelsea, Melissa R, Melissa S, and Asia. I'm just saying those out loud mainly to help myself.
Of course.
Because I'm still not going to be able to understand who anyone is.
Well, you're just furious that the two Melissas are still in there, right?
Yes. Yes. Because Anastasia, I know what she's about. I know Chelsea Bangs. I know Asia. The two Melissas. Ugh.
Well, let me tell you something. I tried to look up Melissa R on social media because I wanted to see, I wanted to test a theory that I had about her, and I really couldn't find her anywhere. In fact, so I found her real name. She's called Melissa Reyes, and the only person I could find on Instagram was a lovely woman called Melissa Reyes who lives in Austin, Texas, and she's like a mom that does like Instagram blogging about her cooking. It's not Melissa R.
But it sounds like that's exactly the life that Melissa R could have ended up leading. No shade. She probably makes millions.
Early mornings, long rehearsal, and 24-hour commitment.
Work it.
If you don't dance like this, you're out of here. Now the competition really begins.
Okay, so we're going to open up the episode. We're in that loft. Now, I need to talk about one of the girls. Don't know which one it is. Sue me, one of the Melissas, whether it's Austin Melissa or not, I don't know. But she's lying in bed, and I just need to talk about the sheets.
That was actually
like
Chelsea Bangs, by the way.
That was Chelsea Bangs? Fine, whatever. Chelsea Bangs, well, maybe her bangs were like a little skewiff or something. I couldn't quite tell. Because she's just lying in her sheets. They're all like different colors, and one set of them is kind of like chocolate satin. They're very plush.
A lot of mixed media going on in those sheets, right? I was seeing a satin. I was definitely seeing a lot of cotton blend. A cheap furry, like fake fur. It was a real mixed materials.
A cheap furry one that will not wash well, despite the fact that clearly Robin comes in like every 10 days and is like, right, girls, I'm going to do the washing. And she just does all the laundry for them. That's my theory.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we kind of, everyone gets up and I think we suddenly are at like lunchtime the next day. Anastasia's complaining there's no protein. And she says she's back to eating vegetables, especially because she felt like she was in competition with Mariella. And now that Mariella's gone, she feels like she has to really step into her place because they were both the dancers.
Yeah, and then there's this awful storyline just continues. Chelsea says to Anastasia, "Will you starve yourself anyway?" And then Anastasia's like, "Right, this has to stop." And quite rightly so. Just this whole food storyline needs to stop.
Yeah, immediately. So luckily for everyone involved, it's time for the greatest format of Search for the Next Doll. The Play Me sign has arrived.
Yep.
Now,
props have been busy printing out onto that not quite high quality enough pink card.
Yeah.
The Play Me sign appears. Okay. and up on the screen appear the Pussycat Dolls. They say, style is what separates Pussycat Dolls from other groups. Sassy, but classy. We need to talk about their outfits here.
Okay, so I wrote that Nicole was dressed like a real senorita. Is that okay to say?
Maybe, not sure. I said that she's dressed, she's got a flower in her hair, and it looks like, imagine if in 2008 the W Hotel had opened up in Maui. It looks like she's going for like a poolside dinner at a Hawaiian outpost of the W Hotel.
Okay.
That was my theory.
Okay, well, I'll accept that. Now,
And we've also got wait, okay, well, who are you going to go for? Who are you going to go for?
let's discuss Kermit the Frog's outfit. Now,
Okay, hang on. So just so you know, I knew we were going to discuss it. So I just wrote Carmeet screenshot and I took a screenshot so I could bring it back up and we could get into it. You go for it.
well, I describe this look as fetish golf player. So she looks like she's playing a round of golf, but in like a fetish outfit. And I then went on to just note, I actually like it.
Yeah, she's got little puffy sleeves. She's got a black hat on, some gloves.
It's like a latex visor. That's what that hat is.
Oh, is it latex
Don't you
visor?
dare call it
Okay.
a black hat.
There's just a lot of it's a lot of outfits in one. She could play golf. She could also maybe fly some sort of plane. I don't know. Like, she could do many things in this outfit.
Well, you can be into fetish and also want to play, a quick round of golf. A bogey, your birdie, use the old 9-iron, putt into the green, wedge.
I'll see you at the 19th hole for a drink.
Sand. Oh, fuck! I lost it.
Okay. Any other outfits of note here? I mean, I do think that W Hotel in Hawaii, Nicole and Carmeet stand out. Is it Ashley on the far right who she's been given a dress from, I don't know, ASOS back in the day, like a nice dress.
Yes.
And she's just wearing it. She kind of looks like she's hosting, like she's presenting or something.
Yeah, well, she's in a real. Actually, I think last week I mentioned the shop that me and Charlie were obsessed with was Surprise Surprise. It was actually Juz Lookin' is what we were really obsessed with. So Juz Lookin' was spelled Juz, translation Z, Lookin' with no G, and Juz Lookin' was, I think, next door to Surprise Surprise at the Tottenham Court Road end of Oxford Street. And I do think Ashley's dress was very Juz Lookin'. Peeled off one of those like spangly mannequins in the window of Juz Lookin'.
Is it also like so many synthetic fibers that when it's hanging up, the material's really stuck together in a static fashion?
Well, I imagine Juz Lookin' went up in a blaze of glory from like an errant spark that went into the shop and just caught onto every item in Juz Lookin'.
An errant stage pyrotechnic from We Will Rock You just across the street.
Exactly. A little sparkler wafted its way in and Juz Lookin' was over.
Okay, so the girls pop down to the dance studio where they are introduced to Melody, because Melody, according to Robin, is a fashion junkie.
Absolutely.
That's how she's described. And in this scene, she's wearing a black pantsuit with some gold chains.
Well, speaking of gold chains, did you notice that absolutely everyone in this episode and in this scene was wearing about 7 or 8 gold chains around their neck, or one chunky one?
Totally, like chains a go-go. I think I make a note later about another big. Someone else later has like a really big, almost like dog collar chain. The ones that are kind of fashionable now, that are kind of like a little bit fetishy, but a little bit fashion. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So they are told that in this challenge, they need to show their personal style, and they are going to be performing as backup dancers on CD USA.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Okay. So they're going to be performing as backup dancers for the Pussycat Dolls, but only 4 of them are going to get picked. Okay. CDUSA. We need to get just to talk about that.
Wow.
So I had a little look.
Okay.
I had a little. Here's the Wikipedia page for CDUSA. UK listeners will obviously be very well acquainted with CD UK, a show beloved in our hearts.
Better be.
So CD USA was aired exclusively on DirecTV's Audience network in the United States.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. It was a spin-off of CD UK. Now, I just want to highlight a few artists who performed on CD USA throughout his run. Ashley Simpson performing LOVE.
Oh, L-O-L-O-L-O-L-O-V-E-L-O-L-O-L-O. I'm talking about.
Christina Milian, Say I.
Oh, God, I'm not going to attempt that one. No
just trying to
discernible
think-
melody in Say I, as far as I remember.
And my final favorite, I mean, there are lots here, but just plucking out the favorites. JoJo, Too Little Too Late.
Oh, my God. I can't. Well, I mean, you know.
Oh, wait. I've also just noticed, sorry, Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten, and I Bruise Easily.
I bruise easily, so be gentle, when you handle me. There's a mark you leave, like a love heart carved on a tree. Ooh, I didn't realize I knew all the lyrics to that song. I haven't listened to I Bruise Easily since second year of university, when I was like, I'm going to feel real sorry for myself tonight, and I'm going to drunkenly pop on the Natasha Bedingfield album and listen to I Bruise Easily. And obviously, because it was a CD, I couldn't listen to just that song. I'd have to really get up and quickly stop the CD player before, like, I don't know what single came on. I didn't need to hear that.
I was just about to say, did you make it through I Bruise Easily? And then you're like, do you know what? Actually, I'm gonna go out tonight because I'm single. That's how I wanna be.
Remember, I Want to Have Your Babies. What a weird song.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So CDUSA.
Yes.
Fantastic.
And so the Pussycat Dolls are going to be performing Wait a Minute. Oh, why you got me like that? How'd you feel about Wait a Minute?
I've never heard this song before.
What?
Nope.
What? Really? It's definitely released this song.
Never. I do not remember this song at all. It sounded like a cousin of a Black Eyed Peas song.
Yeah, it feels like it was churned out at the same time that they made Don't Show, where they just kind of they put a lot of their songs into a blender, and that it's not the greatest of their songs, but I'm really surprised you didn't know this song.
Yeah.
It's pretty clunky dunky, isn't it?
Oh, it sure is. I'm excited about talking about the choreograph where they like hold both arms above their heads, above their head, even both arms, and they don't have multiple heads. Well, actually, the Pussycat Dolls is one creature with just many ever-changing heads.
I feel like this is from the same family as, is that song by Fergie? Is it called Clumsy?
Oh, yeah.
It feels like a real direct relation to Clumsy, this song. It's one of those songs that sounds like someone falling down the stairs.
Oh, beautiful. Well, they're going to get to perform behind them, but only 4 are going to get to perform. And it's already teed up at the beginning that Chelsea might be in trouble because it's a choreo-based challenge, and that's not her strong point. And also, they've got 1 hour to learn the choreo. Let's get to rehearsals.
Okay, so Melissa R really does look like a young Nicole, but I think she looks like Nicole and Vanessa Hudgens. So does that make her Nicole Hudgens? Vanessa Scherzinger?
Oh. Did you mark that in your notes and you've been really excited to tell me?
I actually didn't write it down, but I did think it. So I'm actually really impressed with myself that I managed to do their name flip without actually writing it down. Pretty proud of that.
Okay.
So
well done.
At this point, Mikey screams at her saying, "Where are your boob pads?" And she says, well, I didn't want to sweat through them. And then she says, everyone knows what boob pads are. Dancers wear them to make them more sexy. And I was like, what? Is she talking about like chicken cutlets that you like the stick-on ones? Is that what a boob pad is? They're just talking about stuffing her bra, right?
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, I didn't like that whole line of criticism.
I just wrote, Mikey's an ass. She's not comfortable. Oof. Like, it just, that whole thing was just like...
Mikey's such 2008 gay misogyny, isn't he? He's like the epitome of it. Just like, well, I'm Mikey, so I can say as horrible things to women as I want because I'm gay. It's like, no, Mikey.
Yeah. And then there's another point later where they're like, I mean, Mikey's really hard on me, but, you know, I deserve it. And he should be because, you know, I deserve it. It's like, oh, God.
What is that? Is that when he told Anastasia she's making a smelly face or when he told Chelsea she danced like a dead chicken? Because I have to admit, I did laugh at both of those comments. So maybe I'm also the problem.
So, yeah, and then more problematic moments with Mikey. Maybe let's not dwell on it, but he's just talking about Anastasia being a larger woman compared to the others. He references her hair, which is deeply problematic, and it's just not great. So this choreography, it is hard,
yeah,
and it is fast,
yeah. it's like full on professional level, which I guess does
Yeah.
make sense, seeing as they're gonna. Because I guess we'll get to the performance later, but I didn't quite realize how much they were going to literally just be their backing dancers. It's quite intense.
Yeah. Okay, but do you know the move I was talking about? So if you put your arms
Yeah.
above your head and you clasp both elbows,
Yes.
and then you kind of go from like side to side.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's very like what you would have in silhouette in a Pussycat Dolls music video, or even maybe a Girls Aloud photo shoot. They used to love a silhouetted look.
Oh yes, it's very a deep stretch / you might dislocate a shoulder.
Absolutely not good if you've got a torn rotator cuff.
No. So we're going to
Which I
hop on
do.
the bus and we're going to go to CDUSA. I genuinely love how real this feels. Like you've got an hour to perform. You're then going to hop on the bus and like someone's straightening their hair. And then when they get to the location to get to the studio, they all line up outside and perform in the parking lot. And whoever they pick like then goes inside the studio to perform. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, this felt like a real challenge. It's also a touch of a slight kind of hint that if you make it into the group, you're essentially going to be another backing dancer, right? But we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, a question for you. So when the girls lined up outside of the bus at the studio and then performed the choreography, what do you think they played the music off?
Ooh, oh gosh, back in that day. I'm still thinking they had a boombox with batteries in it.
Yeah.
I think
Like
that's
a
been the most
boombox with
reliable thing.
A boombox with a handle, and it's maybe got some like fun stickers on it. Like Robin's got like a little heart glittery sticker that she's stuck on it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Well, they were at Tribune Studios. Did you notice that?
I did. So I looked that up. So that is now Sunset Bronson Studios. Those are the studios that Netflix now own.
Of course, yeah. Because if you look it up on Apple Maps, it takes you to a place called Tribune Creek, which is a 9-hour drive away from where we are right now. I believe it is in Utah.
And they 9 hours just on that bus doing that jerky choreography, and that one person just straightening her hair for 9 hours with GHDs.
Well, I was actually going to ask, do you think that those were real GHDs, or do you think we're still in like pre-GHD days here, where it's just hair straighteners? You know?
Oh no! What we're in 2008? Oh no, we're in peak. Well, actually, I would say peak GHDs was like 2006.
Oh, okay. It's never been something I've been able to enjoy or be concerned about.
Oh, you see, for us, it was the final year of school. That's high school in 2003. 2000, is that right? Yeah, 2002, everyone had like the fake ones. In 2003, slowly people started to get the real ones. And in 2004, everyone had them.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I wouldn't know. Maybe when I get my male lace front wig that I've been flirting with on Instagram, I'll know about it then. Did I show you those wigs?
No.
They're pretty wild. They're really funny. I somehow got advertised them, and they're just these like incredibly like wild lace front wigs, but specifically with like fashionable men's hairstyles. And I literally would be able to like plonk like a Caucasian person's like swoop-de-doop hairstyle on top of my head. And I'm really tempted to buy it because I think it would just be so funny to just turn up wearing one, but they're really expensive.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't want you to talk about it. I just want you to turn up to like a dinner or an event that we have and you're just wearing it.
Well, get ready, baby girl.
So the girls perform with, the mini boombox out of shot, and Chelsea and Anastasia struggle. There is some struggling going on there. And so bearing in mind, there are 5 of them, and 4 of them are going to get picked to perform the Pussycat Dolls. Robin decides, actually, only 3 of them are going to get to perform with PCD, and Chelsea and Anastasia, they're going to be stuck in that bus.
Yeah, which is kind of a nice and also bad, because, as we see later on, it's not apparently being stuck with Chelsea is not the funnest thing in the world. We'll talk about that edit they give her later.
Yeah, so, we will talk about that. But you know what? We need to get to hair and makeup because there is a CDUSA show to do.
Yeah. So they're trip-tropping through hair and makeup, and their kind of final look is pigtails, heavy makeup, and kind of spingle-spangle dresses. Another set of spingle-spangle dresses that we've seen on the show so far. But I do believe these ones had a slightly higher quality kind of... Is that a paillette, I believe, that those dresses have on them? That kind of sequin, the large sequin, I believe, is a paillette.
I didn't know that. I didn't know the name of that.
I don't know how I know that. Well, I do know how I do that. I know exactly how I know that. I watched a lot of Drag Race and Project Runway. So, by osmosis, I think I can design a dress and be in drag, but I can't do either.
One thing you have not pointed out, though, you mentioned their hairs and pigtails. It's back-combed pigtails.
Yeah,
So
teased.
these are like teased. These are teased big. There's big hair, big makeup, and those big sequins in those dresses.
Paillette.
So, yeah. Oh, wait, also, I wrote here, gloves! Exclamation mark.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
So the other two back in the bus, they watch the rehearsal, and Anastasia says that it's like being stuck in prison with Chelsea. And then there's just a supercut of Chelsea just talking.
Yeah, I said they gave her the Chatty Cathy edit, which was just stringing together 3 different sentences and doing that crossfade where it's like, "Whoa, this girl won't stop talking." But I don't know. I'm a Chelsea apologist, so I can't help but want to stick up for her, even though she actually said some pretty horrible things so far this episode. It's fine. Yeah. I can't help it. I love Chelsea. What can I do?
It's the bangs. The bangs.
What's her last name again?
Chelsea Bangs.
No, she has a really fun last name.
Oh, I don't know it.
Is it Corker? Hold on.
Chelsea Corker!
Now I have to look it up. I thought we'd already discussed it, but I just realized you were saying someone else had a fun name, didn't they? I'm pretty sure it's Corker. Yes, she is indeed Chelsea Corker, but it's Korka. But what a great name.
So the performance at CDUSA starts, and the real Pussycat dolls are out there performing. And then there's a shot, one of the backing dancers, they almost go on a bit too early.
One of the backing dancers, one of the girls.
Oh, sorry, one of the girls, yeah.
Melissa R.
That's what they are. They're backing dancers.
Yeah, this moment really made me laugh because of the way they filmed it. Obviously, they were the camera crew for our show, like shooting across to see the girls coming on stage. So they make it look like Melissa R steps out in front of like a camera on the show, but she literally just puts her head forward just a little bit. But the edit they gave it made me like, it was literally like, dum, dum. Yeah. They used that weird noise that they used to use in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was just kind of like I think it's like a camera flash developing. It was like, she's fine. So,
and then they all trot out and they do the performance. Hard choreography. Now, at one point, I swear someone stumbles. But then I was like, oh, wait, is that just the choreography? But bearing in mind, if they made such a big deal about someone vaguely going on stage too early and they turned it into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, if someone stumbled, I feel like that would have been turned into the whole thing as well.
That's part of that whole element about this song being like someone falling down the stairs. It's that clumsy beat,
Got it. Sorry, that's just the creative direction. Beg your pardon. Good, strong performance, super fun. And at the end, one of them says, "I hope my parents are proud of me." And I was like,
Melissa
what?
R.
Melissa R says she hopes her parents. And I was like, for what? CDUSA? Like for being a backing dancer in CDUSA?
Wow.
It was very heartfelt. I was like, I'm kind of confused. But confusion aside, they then all get given goodie bags. What's inside of those goodie bags?
I wrote that they got a goodie bag from an insane woman dressed as a schoolgirl. I think she was the host of the show. I'm not really sure. And then they get some designer watches. I wrote Baby G ? But no, apparently did you write down the name of the real designer that Melissa S mentioned?
I wrote Stormwatch.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah. Gorgeous.
But no, what was it? What was the real name?
I didn't write it down. It was a real like flim flam made up designer name. It was like, oh, Giuseppe Giannucci watches. Perfect.
Got it. I will point out they all had pink distressed straps.
Yeah, because then Melissa S, remember, she's like, my boyfriend got this one for his birthday. It's a good brand. Is it a good brand? It's like, oh, Melissa S. God bless you. Yeah, and it's a little harsh because it's like the poor girls, they come back on the bus and Anastasia and Chelsea Bangs are just kind of sitting there, been there for hours, and the girls are like, woohoo, look at her Giuseppe Calucci watches, and that, they're all like up in their face being like, yeah, Pussycat dolls, which, fair enough.
They're like, do you want another time? Oh, well, I'll look at it on my Giuseppe Giannucci watch.
Then we get the pinnacle of drama from this episode, which is very funny considering, I'm deep into like some serious housewives at the moment. And the drama is like someone being like, looking across at me like, you're a fucking fraud, you bitch. Whereas on this show, the drama was, I think Melissa R is saying like, oh, at least there was 2 of you on the bus and it wasn't just, one person by themselves. And Melissa S says, yeah, another one of Chelsea, another one of you. And then this is where we get the big driving point of the drama for this episode and possibly the next, which is that Melissa S thinks that Chelsea is shit.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, is she right? Is she wrong? It's hard to tell. Like I said, I'm a Chelsea Corker apologist, so I couldn't tell.
I just wrote drama - no idea what happened.
That's what happened. I'm telling you.
Thank you.
Just it was a snide remark that got picked up on, and we kind of,
So we're going to go back to the loft, and I don't know who it is, but someone back in the loft, one of the girls, she's just sitting there and she's eating dessert out of a martini glass.
That was Asia. She was just
Asia.
It was Asia. She was having what looked to be kind of vanilla ice cream from a martini glass.
Yeah, very, very like come dine with me dessert that you prepare earlier, and you put some cling film translation saran wrap over the top, and you keep it in the fridge.
Do you know what I mean? Cannot abide is when people pronounce it clean film.
What?
It is called cling film because it clings to things, and people are like, "Oh, it's just I wrapped it in some clean film." It's like, oh my god, cling is the operative word in that sentence.
There's a phrase for that. It's called like a
malapropism.
It's called no. Is it that, or it's like called like a it's something like a cork stonker.
Oh, I know what you're saying. It's like,
you know what I mean?
Yes, it's like dog eat dog world, and people thinking it's dog eat dog world, right?
Yes, exactly.
Even though I just think it sounded like I said the same thing. I know I did say two different things there.
I'll play it by. I never remember which one it is. Play it by year or play it by ear.
Yeah, that's correct.
Or but wrong is play it by year. YEAR.
Never heard anyone say play it by year. I would murder them.
Yeah, but if I said to you, "Oh, do you know what? We'll record the show next week, but we'll play it by year." What do you think I just said?
Well, I would say. Well, now I'm gonna call you out and be like, "Why are you saying play it by year? You insane."
No, I said play it by ear. I said play it by ear.
You're lying.
I said play it by ear.
Oh, this is like
play by year.
This is like Katie Price all over again. How she says crutch instead of crutch.
Exactly. Anyway,
get out your crutch.
A cork stonk or whatever the phrase is. I can't remember.
Cork stonker. Chelsea Corker.
Also, eating a dessert out of a martini glass, really hard to get the bottom with a spoon. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you're going to be clanking around at the bottom of that, really scraping to get that last little drop.
Melissa R here, she's really like just very emotional and worked up, and she talks about how she's forgetting her morals and who she is, and she's crying for some reason. She says her mind is like a broken puzzle. I was like, what is going on?
I liked that phrase. I thought it was very poetic. She said she's just overwhelmed, which I think is kind of the general state that she's in. So then inexplicably again they cut to Anastasia on the treadmill, but I don't know. I'm ignoring that because they shouldn't have done that. Did you see those real cheap like paper screens that they were using to hide things in the PCD loft in the background? Did you see them?
No,
really.
What was it? Like some crates and things that they were just trying to hide.
It was clearly like production equipment, but they just all they've done is hastily throw up some of those like paper kind of screens, and just like you can tell that was their one production design point where they were like, just use one of those screens, just cover it with a screen. I bet there's all like crew hiding behind it, basically.
Or do you know what's behind it? Tape stock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all those tapes back in that day.
All those tapes. Those heavy tapes.
Oh my God.
And a battery charging for one of the cameras.
Have I ever told you this story? It's not that interesting, but I worked on this weird reality show that was about parenting back in the UK when I was like first starting out as a runner. And one of my jobs was to work an overnight shift, which was already insane. And I had to go in, it was like a Big Brother style house, but where like parents were learning about looking after their children. So it was like families staying there, and then they would get like parenting, but it was like Big Brother style, like reality filming. And I would have to go in and I'd have to go in and like clean it, but like quietly in the middle of the night. And and the overnight like producers in the gallery would tease me, and basically if someone got up in the middle of the night, they needed the footage not with me walking around in the like hiding. So they would make me hide in different places, but then there was never anyone coming. They just he used to just over my headset be like, someone's coming, get behind the curtain. And then in the gallery, they'd all laugh at me hiding. They made me hide in like a tree house behind a curtain. I hid under a table, and then they were like, oh, there's no one really there.
So they bullied you.
Yeah, but it was really like, it was kind of like a thrill. It was like really intense hide and seek that I actually kind of enjoyed.
Also, why didn't they hire a cleaner?
I mean, this was the early 2000s in UK television. It was
That's
the
true.
Wild West. There was two
That's
different
true.
jobs where I cleaned reality TV sets. I've done that twice.
Oh, I've just remembered for a job where we were filming at a model agency, I had to hide underneath these stairs, and a rat died in the wall, and then there's the smell of the dead rat that we could not get out of the wall. Oh my god, that was horrific.
Oh.
And it was pretty hot at the same time. Anyway, I want to point out here, this is where Anastasia's wearing her chain and chunky locket. I think it's one of those ones that would be like one of those Tiffany chains, the
Right.
chunky Tiffany ones. Do you remember those?
I don't, but I like the reference.
Okay, got it. Okay, let's go to the dance studio.
Yeah. So we get the winner of the kind of mini challenge, which was kind of a bigger than mini challenge, and it was Melissa R. They said that she showed her own style and she was very relaxed and kind of really fitted in. And actually, Robin even says, like, you basically tried to walk onto stage, but even then, you were still the best. So I was really pleased for Melissa R. I don't know why, but I like her. I just do.
Okay.
You don't? You're being very non-committal about Melissa R.
I don't know if I like. Yeah, exactly. I actually don't know if I really like any of them. I think that's one of my issues with this show. I just want to hang out with Robin. I just want to go for a drink with Robin. I want to go for a really strong vodka. Oh, but she likes a vodka martini.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That's what I want.
It's pretty misogynistic of you that you don't really like any of the girls, but whatever.
I think it's very Nicole Scherzinger of my personality.
Right. So this is where Robin announces what we're going to be doing for the main performance. Now, I fucking love this. So they are doing a group medley, and Robin announces that we're going back to the beginning and the roots of the Pussycat Dolls. So they're going to be doing Pink Panther, Fever, and Big Spender burlesque style. It's a passion. Boom. Burlesque.
It's burlesque. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Well, yeah, we'll get into it. Let's get to rehearsals. Big shout out to the Clawfoot Pussycat Dolls bath.
Oh my god, I've just realized it, and I'm so blind and so stupid. Cher is Robin Anton and Stanley Tucci is Mikey.
Wagon wheel Watusi.
Chelsea Bangs is Xtina. She can't dance. She's got the pipes.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Do you think?
Sorry, my mind is reeling. I'm like, who else is in that film? I can't remember. Melissa S.
Isn't there someone? Isn't there someone in that movie who used to be in the Pussycat Dolls as well?
Unclear.
I'm sure I read that because at this point in the episode where Robin talks about the burlesque roots of Pussycat Dolls, I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to double check the roots of the Pussycat Dolls. Did Robin invent burlesque? Let me have a look. And I went back to like 1992 or something when she started them. But anyway, there's a connection with Burlesque, the movie.
Right.
But whatever.
So this is where they start getting into choreo for this. So it's going to be a medley kind of mashup of those three songs. And I think it definitely, yeah, you're right. There's the clawfoot bath. Fill up that clawfoot bath with bubbles. There's another ballet bar.
Yep.
Another set of those boxes. And then I believe what we're going to be seeing when Robin asks Chelsea if she'd be willing to sing on a swing. The greatest challenge known to anyone.
Can you sing in a swing?
I'll give it a try.
And that way, there's a giant prop, which is like a giant couch in the shape of lips as well.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that would look funky in a warehouse apartment, wouldn't it?
Well, you're going to have some, you're going to really need a lot of space to have that kind of not overwhelming you. So yeah, you need it in a loft. So that kind of just a lot of kind of choreo, yada yada, and then we get a little quick scenelet of Melissa S being kind of bitchy, saying to Chelsea like, "Oh well, I know that we all know the reason why you've been put on a swing is because you can't dance." Because basically they take Chelsea out of pretty much the whole performance and make her just sit on a swing or lay on a couch. But she can't help that they did that, and I'm a Chelsea Corker apologist.
Also, shout out to Robin in rehearsals, who's really getting into it. Like, she's doing a lot of the demonstrating. There's a lot of actually, when I started Pussycat Dolls and invented burlesque, we did it like this: thrust, thrust, thrust. Actually, no, I'm going to do it like this in the clawfoot bath. Get out! I'm going to get in. Fill it up with bubbles. I'll show you.
I do feel like she's a much better teacher than Mikey. She
what
feels
way?
in that she feels more helpful than him. He's good
Right.
at like driving them and making them like rehearse hard. But I do feel like with her, you see a lot more kindness and actual kind of instruction rather than like, you look like a dead chicken. She's like, no, just move your
Yes.
hand around like this. She's a little more like
Yeah.
that. But I get it. You know, we all have our parts we have to play, don't we?
Yeah. Right. Should we get to performance day?
Yes. So we saw we start with the shot of Asia using hair straighteners again, and then old Tiny Nostrils comes out in what I described as like a fun wedding outfit. Don't you think? Mark McGrath looked like he was kind of like he'd been at a wedding all day and he'd just like thrown off the tie and thrown off the jacket. And he was just like getting down and getting funky on the dance floor, which I know
like he
you
was
loved.
like he was about to do a speech.
Yeah.
Or he was gonna hold like a bottle of beer in one hand and the mic in the other and just do like a off the cuff speech for everyone because he's just that kind of guy
with all his rings. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. I have to say the first thing that I really wrote down for performance day was Anastasia's baby blue bedazzled hat. Want it.
I loved it. It was like a bedazzled sailor's hat, wasn't it?
It was so good.
I loved that hat. Oh. Okay.
So, performance. As you said, it is a medley of Pink Panther, Fever, and what was the other song?
Expender.
Of course it was.
Okay, so it's
this performance.
Yeah, so we start with Pink Panther, and that is there's three of them, and I've forgotten. So that's Melissa. That's the two Melissas and Asia, isn't it? That start off with Pink Panther. So they're at the kind of yeah, it is. It's the two Melissas and Asia, and they start off at the ballet bar, and it's a lot of dun 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 ba-dum 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 ba-dum. Click over the bar. Look at my gloves. I'm walking down the steps, and I'm gonna take my top off. I'm gonna take my top off. Right?
At this point, we should also give
work?
a shout out to the sailors. The troop of sailors that were hanging out, the males.
Yeah.
They were just all like hanging out, overacting,
Loved
and being very like crotchy, very like whoa,
It was very Tarzan and Jane swinging on the vine, wasn't it? That's the line from Candyman from Christina's song. Tarzan and Jane swinging on the vine. It was very that.
Sure.
Wow, I can't believe we finally reached the day where an obscure reference like that wasn't just instantly available in your mind too. Wow, I've really failed our mind connection there. That's embarrassing.
I know. You know, I have a slight blind spot with Candyman because it was not my favorite.
My God, that's really what they should have put Christina in their most recent Candyman movie. So
oh my God! Wait! The trailer. Wait! The trailer. You know that kind of fashionable thing the last few years of like. A trailer having like a slowed down version.
They used "Say My Name" in the trailer for Candyman.
Well, fuck
because
that.
It's about saying his name.
It should have been Candyman, the Candyman.
I do like the idea of someone saying it in the mirror, and then you just suddenly hear, "Hey, dun 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 dun, do your thing,
do your thing." Look, if I said Candyman 3 times in the mirror, and then Christina just appeared, I'd be very happy with that. But I'd be like, "Oh, Christina," I'd be like, "Wait, just one stop. Can you just do something from the Stripped album instead? I know you're in your sailor outfit and you've got that blonde wig on, but just do like Can't Hold Us Down.
Don't you dare ask
I'll
her
do
to
little,
dive
I'll
away
do
from Back
Kim's,
to Basics.
I'll do little Kim's part. It's fine, you know."
I guess everyone was crossing race lines in that video, weren't they?
A guy had 3 girls, then he's the man, etc.
Oh dear. Okay.
So, meanwhile, we've got a swing going on, and there are some black and pink feather boas wrapped around like the cords.
Gorgeous.
Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Lovely.
we have to remember that Chelsea's still there, so we just kind of randomly cut to her just swinging around. She's not even singing on. There's no singing in the Pink Panther. So then Pink Panther's kind of done, and there's a lot of like dun 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 of them to get back to the stage, and that's when we segue into Fever. And that's when Anastasia comes out in that sailor hat and kind of does like a "I never know how much I loved you."
Yeah, her hat's strong, but her entrance to Fever was a little limp.
Yeah,
it was like she just floated on.
Yeah, it's I truly think this show is like carved away at her confidence in a negative way rather than how confident she was when it started, because she looked amazing, and she could have really just could have done it. But at this point,
is this where we're at some point? At this point, there's someone in the clawfoot bath.
Yes,
and there's a xylophone noise, like a ring, and at that exact point, they put their leg up in the air.
Yes, love that. That's actually that. I feel like that was taken straight out of the movie Burlesque. There's definitely that little kind of it's like the wooden xylophone kind of noise to be like, ooh,
yes,
we're having fun. But at that
wait
point,
a minute. This influenced Burlesque. Thank you very much. This came before.
Yes, well, you know what I mean. It's chicken and egg, isn't it? It's one of the Anton dynasty just getting their message out there. So at this point,
chicken Anton, egg Anton.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, Melissa S loses her mic in the clawfoot bath filled with bubbles. There's kind of like a cutaway to Robin being like, ugh. I mean, although vocally she did manage to actually get to singing in time, but apparently not quick enough.
Yeah, and there were bubbles.
Yeah.
There were bubbles flying around at this point as well.
I did make a note. Anastasia has a particularly painful set of runs at the end of Fever, which was just like, you're getting me fever, which was tough.
Now, can we go over to those prop lips?
Oh, of course.
Now, who's on? Is this Chelsea?
Of course it is.
Okay,
of course it is. No one else is laying down or sitting for this entire performance, but Chelsea is. She was great.
She was good. I wrote someone singing very well on Black Lips prop. Chelsea? So great.
Wow. After all this time, you still don't recognize Chelsea being the vocalist. I said at this point, it felt like she was like it was almost like she was a featured vocalist for like a fun performance at the Pussycat Doll Lounge. You know, like she's not a part of the group. They just brought her in. She's the singer. They're like, oh, Chelsea, featured artist Chelsea Corker is going to be right over to the stage. You know, she can't dance. We'll put her in a swing, put her on the lips. And she just kind of, she did amazing. Like it felt like they played right into her strengths, but in a way that I loved as a Chelsea Corker apologist.
A thought for you, got a pitch for you. Back in the day, how great would it have been if there was PCD UK and there was like a core group, but then guest singers could come in? Imagine someone like Alexandra Burke.
Wow.
Like
she could
imagine her coming on stage and singing a PCD. She would be amazing.
Yeah. They should bring her in for the reunion.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They really should. We'll talk to Alexandra. I'll call Alex afterwards.
Yeah, Alex, we'll give you a shout. Don't worry. Okay.
And then we finish on kind of mostly. So basically, so far everyone's kind of had their moments apart from Melissa R and Asia, and they are going to kind of divide out Big Spender between them. And I just want to talk to you really shortly about Big Spender. Hey, Big Spender. This is one of those songs that I thought I didn't like until a few years ago, because it's just one of those like songs that's like, oh, it's kind of like, oh, Hey Big Spender. It's like a very old school, like kind of pantomime dame kind of classic. And then I think I heard it again like a few years ago for a job. I had to use it in something I was working on. And I was like, Hey Big Spender is a really good song.
Yeah, it's
sure. I implore you to take a listen to Shirley Bassey's, Hey Big Spender, as if you're listening to it for the first time and you're like, oh, actually, this song's way less annoying than I thought it was, because it's like a real. I love that song.
I can imagine finding an amazing Shirley Bassey performance from like a very specific time and era and wardrobe that could convince me. But
yeah,
I'm just not there yet.
It's a fun song. It's just one of those songs that we are like trained to be annoyed by at a certain point in our life, I think.
It's very like children in needs. You know what I mean? Like the news readers and children in need or something would sing Big Spender. It feels like that to me. Completely.
It's a go-to like reference point, but actually, yeah, I just think it's a lot more fun than you think it is. So I thought that Melissa R did really good. I thought she sounded really good. She danced really well. Like she kind of seemed like the winner to me. And then Asia looked amazing, danced amazing, but had some real. Speaking of runs, I got the runs watching that. It was not good.
Yeah, I wrote Asia is good. Then I wrote question mark, and then I wrote I take that back, and then I wrote flutter hand because she does that flutter hand that Ron hates. Judge Ron.
Well,
hates.
I'm with Ron on that because it's like if you're gonna do the flutter hand, you've got to have something to back it up. And I was like, all you're doing is fluttering around some real shit right now.
hey, if you're gonna do the flutter hand, you better have the wings.
Yeah,
I always say it.
Perfect, of course.
Always say it.
You do always say that.
I do always say that. The performance ends, and I do want to give a shout out to the number of Beetlejuice stripes that are in their outfits.
Yeah. She's very
A lot of
heavily-influenced. Do you know what? Shut up.
Robin has been very heavily influenced by Beetlejuice. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
Okay, got it. Yeah. Okay, critiques. So, reminder, we have our founder, soul and savior, Robin Anton. We have Ron Fair from Geffen. And then we have Lil' Kim.
Another great booking.
Another great booking. Critiques. I just wrote down one-word things, basically. Anastasia, they said, not fully comfortable. Melissa R, you nailed it. Chelsea, you've grown. Melissa S, you didn't bring anything unique. And Asia, Lil' Kim couldn't take her eyes off you. Although Ron is not a fan. Those were the main critiques.
Yeah.
So it is time for an elimination.
Oh,
and
excuse me.
en person, I don't know what to go as again. Avez-vous excité?
Sauté.
Mm-hmm.
Not excité. Sauté.
Sorte. Oh, that's right. not saute, which is jump. Anyway, we're actually at the Moulin Rouge now.
And not
oh my god!
saute, like just saute something in a pan.
How great if the budget had been big enough if they'd gone to the Moulin Rouge one week.
Oh, well, you still haven't seen the last episode, so maybe you're going to get a little surprise next week.
Okay.
Melissa gets through first, then Chelsea, then Asia.
Wait, which Melissa? Hang on, back up. Which Melissa?
Well, Melissa R, who is exempt from being eliminated, gets through first. Then Chelsea Corker, and Asia, and then that leaves us with, I wrote Aerosmith are back together, which is Melissa S and Anastasia. I'll still wait just to hear you breathing. So they're back together again. And yeah, unfortunately, Anastasia is sent home and Melissa S lives another day. But as Melissa S is getting her critiques, did you notice that little cutaway to Chelsea Corker just kind of being like, just to really drive home their rivalry?
Yeah, because we see next week, Chelsea is struggling with the dance moves.
Of course.
Oh, they do. I'm mostly excited about some sort of product launch spawn thing they do for Scent Expressions by Secret, which I think is like the US equivalent of like Impulse body spray.
I cannot wait for that.
They go and see Mark McGrath on Extra. And what happens there?
Well, I think at that point, Melissa S says that Chelsea's the girl that she wants to go home. Yeah. Right?
Although to be fair, Mark McGrath asked them quite specifically, who do you think should go home?
Well, we'll see that will play out.
So that was episode 6. We've only got 2 more episodes to go.
I know. Now, at this stage, I always ask you this, but do you remember who wins, or is it still a mystery to you?
I don't think I even remember. I don't think I even watched this show back in the day. You're the one who's forced us to do this spin-off, remember? I don't know anyone's names. I don't like any of the characters other than Robin. Wow. So no, I don't remember any of it.
Well, I guess you're going to be the only one truly surprised by the ending of this show then. Spoiler alert, it's Robin. You're absolutely right. She snatches the crown at the end and just gets on stage and does Don't Cher by herself. She fires all of the rest of the dolls. And it's just Robin Anton singing the songs.
I'd be happy with that. Right, that is us for another week. As I said, we have 2 more episodes to go. Our usual You're Welcome America's every other week. And we have some other fun things coming up, but maybe we'll just leave that for now and we'll tease those things separately. But you know what? It's busy fall.
Oh,
busy
it really is. Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm going to go watch Criminal Minds after this.
Okay. See you soon. You're welcome.
Bye.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.